Box 32475 Lusaka, or call 0211-250-589, or email complaints@iba.org.zm, or visit our website www.iba.org.zm.
The Independent Broadcasting Authority, promoting a pluralistic broadcasting industry in Zambia through fair, transparent, and effective regulation.
On social media, like our Facebook page, Oblate Radio Liseli, and get updated with the latest news and current affairs. Oblate Radio Liseli, spreading the light of Christ.
Tomorrow, watch it in the evening and hear it now on Oblate Radio.
Good afternoon and welcome to you who are listening to Oblate Radio Liseli and those watching us on our Facebook page. To present the main news, my name is Tumbeko Skuka, and these are the news headlines. An 80-year-old woman burnt by fire dies in Limulunga district. Constitutional Court in South Africa declines to hear the Lungu appeal case. And the French Prime Minister fights for survival as rivals refuse to support confidence votes. These and many other stories, but first we hear from the church. Caritas Pakistan Executive Director reports that 2,500 flood-affected families, some 17,500 people, are expected to receive aid in the form of food packages, hygiene kits, and drinking water. In the aftermath of the devastating floods in Pakistan on 15th to 16th August, Caritas Pakistan is working to provide relief and care for those living with the effects. Caritas Pakistan is actively responding and is also urging for the continued support of all the faithful. A state of emergency has been declared for Karachi as new flood and heavy rain warnings have been issued for Sidi, a province in the south. At least 7 people have died as a result of the flooding, and reports show damage to infrastructure all throughout the area. Recognizing the extent of the damage, the executive director of Caritas Pakistan, Amaji Gurza, called the situation a national emergency, and he explains immediate aid is being distributed in the different areas affected by the floods. In other news, an 80-year-old woman identified as Kakoma Kamiji, who on Sunday was burnt by fire in the process of trying to retrieve her clothes from her house, which caught fire, has died. The son to the deceased, Smushi Nalwendo, confirmed her death to Oblate Radio Liseli News this morning, stating that the old woman was burnt in her backbone and she was well on Monday, but the condition changed in the evening and died this morning around 05 hours. Mr. Nalwendo says the family wanted to take her to the clinic for further medical checkup, but other family members objected to the advice, which led to the old woman succumbing to the fire burns.
Kona kuli batoeza kuli indu yacha litino zacha mwana bona bomusala kani bane basyo kana ko ene kwinzifera banana nikona kuli konje ana ipitela sho utomala ko baso bapopula ni muliro wabona litino famuli kona kutonga mezi kutobasera chele fa kuzusa chwe litino zanze chele famuli chwe ni litacho la kala kumomotoka nikona kuli anto fitana akutalimera lebabona la kuli abakatezi. Destiny ano aluba isini kwa spate abali abati bafatanya nacho naluka kalika kona kuli alutozwa habusa nokubona alumane kuno kwinzi stable really ni kwamba ane bambola ni kuchane bacha nilitombo nilisabona liko mwendilizusa mezi batiri matutwala ni kusina matutwana anabona la kwa mautune batu apunyaka nikona kuni mabani ne babona kuya ne basepisa manene babe ne batolo balalo kwateni bayikulia bamse bakuta bakala kukutanga kulia yera mukaluliza smartphone chero nafa utofita kama 24 hours ya kebatoni zuza ko wane limalapa ndio abane chire kwangu ndakusinandu chene balobala masitungu sisi malapa chwana sebatoni zuza bali amutobona sesirite ni kwanu kuya kwateni batazi zetu kona kulikala mu ndi just 50 milliliters nichene tubona kuba black ya mochwani blood stain pateni nichele rinzi anafa kama 05 tubabona kuba katezi ebalusia ncha.
May her soul rest in eternity. Sioma Town Council has noted with concern the circulating statement regarding the delivery of school desks from Sioma to Kalongola Ward using an ox cart. Sioma Town Council Public Relations Officer Moses Sinjola says while the council value and appreciate the interest demonstrated by members of the community in matters of public service, the local authority wished to provide clarity and correct certain misleading assertions that has arisen. He states that it is important to correctly state that the desks under discussion are not part of any 2022 project, as alleged, affirming that the desks are from the 2024 projects duly approved and resolved to be procured in 2025 under the Constituency Development Fund CDF, and that any suggestion to the contrary is misleading and does not reflect the facts on the ground. Mr. Sinjola further emphasizes that all contractors engaged went through the established public procurement procedures in line with the law, and of the case of the desks in question, the process was conducted in a transparent, accountable, and competitive manner. Furthermore, Mr. Sinjola assures members of the public that the delivery of the desks has been undertaken in full adherence to due process and in line with the approved timeline for the 2025 procurement cycle, urging members of the community to engage directly with the council by visiting their offices or contacting the council through the provided communication channels before issuing alarming statements that may mislead the general public. The council, however, remains open and committed to transparency, accountability, and service to the people of Sioma District. Now, the Constitutional Court of South Africa has declined to hear a direct appeal by the Lungu family against the Pretoria High Court ruling that ordered the repatriation of the former President Edgar Lungu's remains to Zambia for funeral and burial. In its ruling, the court said the applicants had failed to establish sufficient grounds for a direct appeal, thereby refusing to grant the request. This follows the Lungu's family objection of the Pretoria High Court, which ordered that the body of the former president be handed over to the Zambian government for the funeral and burial at Embassy Park in Lusaka. However, the Lungu family made a direct appeal to the Constitutional Court of South Africa, and on 18th August 2025, the Pretoria High Court adjourned the case sine die to pave way for the Constitutional Court to hear the direct appeal, which has been declined to be heard by the Constitutional Court of that country. This is, according to lawyers, means that the Constitutional Court of South Africa has closed that the applicant's shortcut of the case, and the matter must now follow the normal procedure through the court system. You are listening to Oblate Radio Liseli main news broadcast, and the news continues. Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister Chipoka Mulenga is optimistic that the cost of living in the country will stabilize in about 60 days due to the consistent appreciation of the kwacha. Mr. Mulenga has explained that despite the kwacha's recent gains, government does not want to direct businesses to immediately reduce the prices, as this could cripple local industries. He has clarified that while microeconomic gains, including lower fuel costs and easing inflation, create conditions for price reductions, retail prices are not expected to adjust overnight due to existing stock bought at higher production costs. He says in 60 days' time, consumers will experience reduced prices, citing recent reductions in input costs, such as the poultry sector, where lower stock feed prices are expected to translate into cheaper chickens prices in the coming weeks. Mr. Mulenga says their projections are based on government engagements with industry associations and business groups to encourage responsible pricing and support a functioning market. During a meeting with the Zambia Association of Manufacturers last week, President Hakainde Hichilema expressed concern that the kwacha gains have not translated into a stable cost of living. The Civil Service Commissioner in Western Province to conduct a monitoring and evaluation exercise of the delegated human resource management functions and to hold a grievance hearing. During their visit, the team led by Civil Service Commission Chairperson Chole Beyani will hold a meeting on Wednesday in Senanga District with heads of government departments and the local authorities from selected districts within the province. And speaking when he paid a courtesy call on Western Province Minister Kapelo Mbangweta's office, Civil Service Commission Chairperson Chole Beyani stated that through interactions, the Commission aims to assess the impact of the human resource management at district level with the decentralization agenda of government.
During this visit, the Commission will hold a meeting on Wednesday in Senanga with the district heads of department and local authorities from selected districts in the province. Through this interaction, we aim to assess the impact of the HRMC at district level and reinforce the devolution program in line with the decentralization agenda of government. The Commission will focus, among other things, the reporting lines arising from the attachment of officers to the local authorities. Honorable Minister, this M&E exercise is also aimed at enhancing the capacity of the HRMC. Honorable Minister, the M&E exercise is aimed at enhancing the capacity of HRMC as they execute their delegated functions. Suffice to state that Western Province HRMC is among the best performing committees who have never let the Commission down from inception. And we have every reason to believe the status quo has not relegated even this time around. The Commission expects to see a positively sustained performance of the HRMC as a testament to the seriousness with which the committee applies itself to the delegated functions.
And Western Province Minister Kapelo Mbangweta has commended the Civil Service Commission for visiting Western Province, affirming that their visit is important in mitigating the functions mandated to the human resource management in the province. Mr. Mbangweta also indicated that the visit by the Commission will help us settle matters as they will be able to hear grievances of the civil servants in the province, stating that when that is done, the government employees will feel better because they have a lot of issues that needs to be addressed.
It's also important and good that the workers, the civil servants can see you in the localities where they operate from. It's very motivating. At least you appreciate the things firsthand, and wise in certain cases when new ideas are generated from Lusaka, they might not necessarily work in the various places where they are going. So to that extent, you might be in a position then to change the approach, especially as it applies to the working environment of the workers, the key stakeholders, so to speak. One such challenge is our environment here in terms of accessibility to certain places because of the sandy terrain. And so in certain cases, the distances might not necessarily reflect how long it will take you to get to that place. So you cannot apply the same standard like the way you'd apply it in certain places. So visitations of this nature are important because then you have a better appreciation.
The Civil Service Commission intends to allocate more functions to the human resource management, but this is dependent on the performance of the committees that has been put in place. And in international news, French opposition parties have said they will not back Prime Minister François Bayrou after he called a vote of confidence on 8th September on plans of deep budget cuts. Bayrou has led a minority government since last December, called the vote on Monday, warning France was facing a worrying and therefore decisive moment. But it's even riskier not to do anything, he says, in the face of France's mounting budget deficits. From the National Rally on the right to the Socialist, Greens and France Unbowed on the left, opposition parties lined up to say they would vote against him. Bayrou called the vote 2 days before protests have been called across France to block everything. And as we end the news, a recap of the headlines. An 8-year-old woman burnt by fire dies in the Mulonga district. Constitutional Court in South Africa declines to hear the Lungu appeal case. And a French Prime Minister fights for survival as rivals refuse to support a confidence vote. And that ends the main news, but if you want to share news or comment on our stories, you can call WhatsApp us on the number 0955 221641. My name is Tumbeko Skuka, Oblate Radio Liseli, spreading the light of Christ. Thank you for listening.
Oblate Radio Liseli, 90.5 FM, Kauma's favorite for news, music and